Hello and welcome to the C-Suite at the Open video series. I'm Omar Kafagi, and joining me today is Kyle Floyd. He's the CEO of Vox Royalty Corp. Thanks for joining me, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Omar.
So Kyle, talk to me about Vox Royalty.
Yeah, Vox Royalty is a really exciting story. We have been the fastest growing royalty company in the entire sector for the last 18 months. That growth has been enabled by a very strong technical team, intellectual property, deal sourcing agents around the world, and an ability to find transactions, frankly, where others aren't looking and where others aren't aware that there's good royalties to be acquired.
And Kyle, what are some of the catalysts that help drive that growth for Vox Royalty?
We've got an exciting next year in front of us in terms of catalysts, both what we call organic catalysts, so that's interesting things, development milestones being achieved within the portfolio that we have now. Then alongside that, we obviously have our acquisition pipeline that we continue to bring into the portfolio with new opportunities. And so inherently within the portfolio, our organic portfolio, we have some really exciting developments happening with these companies and these assets. We have very interesting gold assets coming into production, 3 of which we expect to be in production by mid to late next year. And then also a very meaningful production milestone being hit, which will unlock significant cash flow for us from one of our more significant assets also in the back half of next year. So we have a lot of organic production growth happening in our portfolio.
Okay. So one question that's on everyone's minds, how did COVID-19 impact your business and how were you able to adapt to those impacts?
Yeah, really good question, Omar. We're obviously empathetic to the businesses that have been and the people that have been deeply affected by the pandemic. But frankly, from our perspective, COVID-19, the volatility that it's created in the capital markets and really just around the world in daily life, it's done a couple things that have actually assisted our business. One is it's created more interest in selling assets. So holders of royalties want to reduce uncertainty and unlock value that they maybe have been sitting on. And then 2, as we've all seen, the interest in gold, especially in precious metals, has been very significant over the last few months as more stimulus gets pumped into the markets and there's more geopolitical risk in the markets. And so with our significant exposure to gold and precious metals, that's also increased the interest in Vox significantly.
Great. So when you're talking to investors, how do you describe Vox Royalty as an attractive investment proposition for them?
Yeah, Vox Royalty was really built by investors for investors. We wanted a model that really distilled the value of a royalty company and was disciplined in terms of achieving those types of catalysts and milestones for investors. And so we're very focused on royalties. We're very focused on third-party royalties. And underlying that is a focus on the quality of the asset and relative value that we're acquiring these assets. And so when you buy Vox and you think of the Vox story, it's amazing growth. It's unprecedented growth, frankly, in the royalty space, as we've been the fastest growing royalty company over the last 18 months. But it's growth at very significant value with significant catalysts organically with the assets that we acquire, with very meaningful exposure to precious metals. So we think we're a really interesting and compelling story for investors where we sit today.
Okay. And finally, Kyle, you've recently listed on the TSX Venture. So can you tell me how that listing will help contribute to your success?
Yeah, Omar, really the listing for us was a huge milestone. We had been a private company for many years, building to this inflection point of going into the public markets. When we hit the public markets, we wanted to be really a growth engine in the space, and we're delivering on that. And the public listing helps us in a couple different capacities. Number one, it allows us to have liquidity to potentially acquire larger opportunities that are actively in our pipeline for acquisitions, but also too, from a marketing standpoint. Being a publicly traded business allows us to frankly interact with more investors, more parties, and bring more awareness to our business than we would otherwise be able to. So the listing on the Toronto venture has been really a huge catalyst for us and very helpful in growing our business.
Great. Well, thank you for joining me today, Kyle, and I look forward to connecting in person in the near future.
Thanks, Omar.